Welcome guys. So PUBG Mobile nerfed the DP28 in the recent updates, and now it's slightly less powerful than before, since many of you are asking me to make a video on this DP28 rebalance. So in this video, I will show you what changes are made to the DP28 and how it can affect your overall gameplay. Anyway, if we look at 1.7 update patch notes on PUBG Mobile's website, it mentioned that they have reduced bullet speed, reduced damage at long range, and reduced headshot damage. All these changes are a big deal for the DP, but first let's take a look at the damage information. I don't know if you guys know this already, but if you don't know, previously AKM and DP28 had identical or the same damage. Both guns deal exactly the same amount of damage. That's the reason why DP28 is so powerful. However, the damage is reduced now. But don't worry, only the headshot damage is changed, everything else remains the same. And if you're wondering, the headshot damage is reduced by 4.4%, which takes it from 110 to 105. So now the new headshot damage is 105, which is identical to Beryl's headshot damage. In my opinion, 4.4% less headshot damage is not a big deal, but sometimes it could be a big deal. However, you're still getting the same body damage as an AKM. And Beryl's headshot damage isn't that bad as you think. You can still one-shot kill someone without a helmet just like AKM. However, in the long range it can be a huge difference, especially when PUBG mentioned they reduced the damage at long range, so I ran few tests to figure out how much damage you lose in long range. And for every 100 meters, you lose approximately 8% of your overall damage. For example, if you shoot someone in the chest under 10 meters, you will do 48 damage, and for same shot at 100 meters you deal 44 damage, and similarly at 200 meters you will do 40 damage, and finally at 300 meters, you will do around 37 damage. I think 320 meters is the maximum render distance. After that, you can't see your enemies, or it doesn't render, so if you use DP28 for long range you can lose up to 23% of your damage depending on the distance. For example, M416 can lose only up to 10% of its damage over distance, whereas the DP can lose up to 23% of its damage over distance. This will affect the way how you use DP28, but you can always solve this issue by hitting an extra shot or by connecting one more shot to the opponent. By the way, here is a side-by-side comparison of DP28's damage drop-off while hitting a headshot on a level 3 helmet. Now you must be wondering about the recoil, whether it is the same or did they change it as well. So here is a side-by-side comparison of the old DP28 recoil versus the new one. And by looking at this I would say they look very similar and identical. However, you may say the new one has a lot of horizontal recoil at this spot. But you have to realize that this is totally random. Sometimes you get lucky your sprays behave very similar, and sometimes it can go horizontally like this. So as far as I know the recoil is the same. Even the patch notes didn't mention anything about the recoil, so it must be the same as before. But the thing you need to worry about is the bullet speed. The bullet speed or the bullet velocity is also the reason why the damage gets reduced over distance. However, I didn't measure the bullet speed before the update, so I can compare it now. But one thing I can say is shooting moving enemies with DP28 was a bit difficult, and now it's even more difficult due to the slower bullet speed. Now to the final question, is this the end of DP28? Well, I wouldn't say DP28 is bad at all. It's still one of the most powerful weapon in this game, but not as powerful as before. You can still use DP28 just as you would before, but due to the slight change in damage, it will require you to connect at least one more shot in order to make up for the nerfs such as low headshot damage and slower bullet velocity. This gun is still one of the best weapon for mid to long range fights, and obviously DP28 works extremely well when you're shooting at stable targets. But you will run into the problems when you try to hit a running enemy. All you have to do is aim slightly ahead of the enemy and hope your bullets will hit. And spraying a vehicle is even more challenging. So the best way to use DP28 is against still or almost still targets. And I would highly recommend you to pair your DP28 with 5.56 assault rifles like M416, SCAR-L, etc., so that they can cover the weaknesses of DP28 like spraying down a vehicle and of course the close combat. Try not to use DP in close range as much as you can. But always remember that DP28 is a machine gun, and machine guns are heavy, so they will slow down your movement speeds, and this can be a huge issue in close range fights. Unless you have no other choice, you can still use it, since this gun has the same damage as an AKM to the body. It can be powerful especially in early games, while fighting against no armor players. And my biggest tip when using DP28 is to use crouch while spraying, because crouching can reduce DP28's recoil by up to 30% or even more. And if you go prone, you know it's gonna eliminate almost all the recoil. And if you are a gyroscope player, I suggest you create a custom sensitivity for DP28. Since it needs to be stable while aiming, so you could connect more headshots, try using low sensitivity, because DP28 doesn't have a lot of recoil, especially when you burst fire like this. Anyway, that's all I got for this video. I hope you learned something new. If you did, hit the like button and subscribe for more upcoming videos like these. I will see you guys in the next one. Enjoy my bot gameplay.
Time is barely on our side. I don't wanna waste what's left. Storms we chase are leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah, no, I don't wanna waste what's left. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And